There are a few names in the boys' universe that send chills down fans. Spines quite like Stan Edgar. Cold, calculating, and always 10 steps ahead. He's the man who built Vought into the empire of manipulation and power it is today. And now, after years of waiting, he's finally back. That's right. Gen V, Season 2, Episode 6, just brought back Giancarlo Esposito as Stan Edgar in one of the most unexpected and game-changing cameos we've seen in the entire Boys franchise. But this isn't just another nostalgic return. This moment answers one of Gen V's biggest mysteries, connects directly to the Boys' main storyline, and sets up a long-awaited confrontation that could shake the very foundation of both shows. Let's rewind for a second. Episode 6 of Gen V Season 2 picks up right after Marie and her friends escape the chaos of Elmira, Cipher's twisted playground of control and manipulation. They're traumatized, hunted, and completely out of options. Cipher's influence reaches everywhere, and no one seems safe. The group debates where they could possibly go. Canada, maybe.
Wait, no. We're going to Canada? No, aren't they going to try to stop us?
But even that sounds like a desperate fantasy. Then, out of nowhere, salvation arrives in the most unexpected form possible. As Vought closes in, a familiar voice cuts through the tension. A voice every fan of the Boys immediately recognizes. Stan Edgar steps out of the shadows, calm, confident, and somehow always in control, even when the world around him is collapsing. With him is his granddaughter, a new addition that immediately reminds us that Stan's legacy, much like Vaught's, runs deep in the bloodline. Together, they save Marie and her friends from certain capture, whisking them away to safety. But this isn't your typical safe house. No, Stan Edgar has something much better, an underground bunker that feels straight out of a doomsday billionaire's dreams. And, of course, in true Stan Edgar fashion, he can't resist throwing a jab at the modern elite, joking that Mark Zuckerberg also has one.
They tell me that Mark Zuckerberg has a lesser version.
But his bunker is much nicer. That's the Stan Edgar we know. Effortlessly smug, quietly dangerous, and always reminding us that he's playing a completely different game from everyone else. Inside the bunker, while the group tries to process everything that's happened, Stan does something no one expected. He starts cooking. Watching one of the most ruthless men in the Boys universe make frittatas for traumatized college students might sound absurd, but it's exactly the kind of dark humor the show excels at. It's the perfect reminder that Stan Edgar isn't just powerful, he's unnervingly composed. Even in the middle of an apocalypse, he's thinking, planning, and most importantly, recruiting. Because make no mistake, Stan didn't just show up out of kindness. He's got a plan, and Marie Moreau is at the center of it. As they talk, he reveals why he's been keeping such a close eye on her. It turns out, Stan wants something only she can provide, the power to help him retake Vought. That's right. Stan Edgar wants his empire back, and he's looking to Marie as the key to making that happen. Now, if you followed the Boys from the beginning, you know how explosive this is. Stan Edgar's rivalry with Homelander has been one of the show's most fascinating dynamics. Homelander might be the face of Vought, the godlike figure that sells patriotism and fear in equal measure. But Stan was always the real power. He built the system that controls the soups, the propaganda, the image. Homelander was just his weapon. But after Stan's downfall in The Boys Season 3, when Homelander's ego finally broke free from his leash, it was clear that their paths would cross again. And now, Gen V Season 2 has laid the groundwork for that long-awaited confrontation. During his talk with Marie, Stan drops the biggest revelation of the entire season, one that ties Marie, Homelander, and even the origins of Compound V together. He finally explains the truth behind Project Odessa. For episodes, we've heard whispers about this mysterious program, but now we get the full story. According to Stan, Project Odessa was created back in the 1960s by none other than Thomas Godolkin. Yes, the same man behind Godolkin University. His goal? To create God-tier superheroes. Not just regular supes, but beings whose power could surpass every limit of human and superhuman potential. At first, the project was a disaster. The early experiments were horrific. Countless children died as scientists tried to perfect the formula. But everything changed with the advent of in vitro fertilization. Suddenly, they had a new way to inject Compound V, not into living babies, but into embryos at the blastocyst stage. This meant they were creating life directly from Compound V itself, not giving powers to humans, but building humans out of power. As Marie listens in horror, Stan confirms the devastating truth. Most of those experiments ended in death, but 2 children survived. 2 people carried the genetic legacy of Project Odessa. One is Homelander. The other is Marie Moreau. That's the twist no one saw coming. Marie isn't just another suit. She's literally from the same genetic experiment as Homelander. She's his counterpart, his mirror, and potentially the only person on Earth who can stand toe-to-toe with him in terms of raw biological power. And Stan Edgar knows it. This revelation completely changes how we see Marie's role in the Gen V universe. From the beginning, she's been portrayed as a confused but determined hero, someone learning to control her blood manipulation powers while navigating trauma and manipulation. But now, we realize she's far more important. She's not just a gifted suit. She's Vought's ultimate creation, and that's exactly why Stan wants her on his side. He's seen what Homelander's ego has done to the company he built. He's watched as Vought descended into chaos, worshiping a tyrant instead of the idea of controlled order he once envisioned. But Stan's never been the kind of man to sit quietly in defeat. He's been waiting, plotting, and now he's found his weapon to take back control. Marie's power, as he sees it, is the key to restoring Vought to its proper state. A version of Vought without Homelander, without chaos, without ego, just pure corporate dominance under his leadership. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Because while Stan Edgar might be the lesser evil compared to Homelander, he's still an evil. Just one that hides behind charm and intellect instead of violence. And now, he's trying to recruit Marie into his game. But here's the beauty of it. Marie isn't a pawn anymore. She's starting to see through everyone's manipulation. Throughout Gen V Season 2, we've watched her struggle to find her purpose. She's been lied to by Vought, betrayed by mentors, hunted by Cipher, and now offered a throne by Stan Edgar himself. Every faction in this world wants to control her. But Marie's power is finally giving her the strength to decide for herself who she's going to be. Still, Stan's influence is undeniable. He tells her things she's been desperate to know, truths about her origins, her connection to Homelander, and her potential to surpass him. It's everything she's wanted and feared all at once. Now, let's pause here and think about what this means for The Boys Season 5. Because this reveal doesn't exist in isolation. It's setting up something fans have been waiting years to see. The Stan Edgar versus Homelander showdown. Back in The Boys Season 3, Homelander finally managed to remove Stan from power. He humiliated him publicly, flexing his dominance in a moment that felt like a final victory. But if you know Stan Edgar, and you know Giancarlo Esposito's performance, you know that kind of man doesn't go down quietly. He's the embodiment of corporate revenge. And his return in Gen V proves that he's been working behind the scenes this entire time, building alliances, gathering resources, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And now, with Marie Moreau, a genetic equal to Homelander, potentially under his wing, he has the perfect weapon to bring his old enemy down. Imagine that. The Boys Season 5 opening with Homelander at the height of his delusion, believing he's unstoppable, only to face someone who mirrors his own origin, someone who was born from the same experiment but didn't lose their humanity. The emotional, moral, and physical contrast between Marie and Homelander could make for one of the most compelling confrontations in the entire Boys universe. And Stan Edgar, as always, will be right there in the background, pulling the strings. It's also worth noting that Stan's appearance in Gen V doesn't just connect him to Marie, it ties together every loose thread between the Boys and his spinoff. Remember how The Boys Season 4 hinted that Stan still had influence, even from behind bars? This cameo confirms it. He's no longer just a fallen CEO. He's a strategist preparing for the final act. Some fans have even speculated that Stan's interest in Marie might go beyond reclaiming Vought. He could be trying to rebuild the entire system of superhumans, to restore order to a world that's spiraling out of control. Or perhaps to create his own version of the Seven, one that he can finally perfect. Whatever his true motive, one thing's clear. Stan Edgar isn't done yet. His calm, eerie presence in that bunker scene reminds us why he's such a terrifying character. Not because he's strong, but because he's always right. He understands power better than anyone else in the show. To him, Vought, Homelander, and Cipher, they're all just pieces on a chessboard. And once again, he's moving them exactly where he wants. By the end of episode 6, the tone shifts. The gang is safe, but the future feels more dangerous than ever. Cipher is still out there. Homelander looms over everything. And now Stan Edgar has re-entered the game, with Marie Moreau caught in the middle. It's the perfect setup for what's coming next. both in Gen V's later episodes and in The Boys Season 5. For years, fans have been dreaming about a final battle between Homelander and someone who can truly challenge him. And now, it's not Butcher, it's not Soldier Boy, it's Marie. The girl whose power comes from the same source as his, but who uses it to save instead of destroy. And standing behind her, smiling that cold, calculated smile, will be Stan Edgar, the man who started it all. So yeah, Gen V Season 2, Episode 6 didn't just give us a cameo, it gave us a prophecy. The return of Stan Edgar isn't just fan service. It's the spark that ignites the final war for Vought's soul. The question now is, when the smoke clears, will Marie side with Stan and his vision of order, or will she finally break free from the entire system and become something even greater? Whatever happens next, one thing's certain. Stan Edgar's return is the calm before the storm. And when that storm hits, the boys' universe will never be the same again.